for the Legion. We got all our teams on here, excited to start the day. So if you're out running, if you're dialing, this is a nice little break to get your mind right and get yourself, ready to go. So again, I'm Brandy. I was the DJ at the event. Hopefully all you guys were there. It was such a powerful event. So many good speakers. Oh my God. It's so empowering and so motivating. I love it so much. So I hope you guys came. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. But first of all, I want to recognize some people real quick who have passed their exam this week. We all know how fun that test can be. So we definitely want to acknowledge the people who are able to get through it and pass it. So Shay, are you on the call? I want you to talk about why you're excited, how you got through the test and what you're excited about for FFL. Shay, are you here? All right, so Shay, we're gonna go ahead and move on. The second person who passed their test is Douglas Chappell. Are you on the call? Douglas, are you there? All right, anyway, congratulations to both of you. We're very proud of you. We're excited to have you on the team. All right, and next we're gonna move to the first milestone producers. These guys had an incredible week. Wow, this is really some big numbers you put up. Eugene, are you on the call?
Yes, Brandy, I'm here.
Hey, Eugene. So I want you to talk about, well, first of all, you did $12,684. Was that in one day or 1 week?
That was for the month of March.
For the month. Okay, still, that's incredible. You just got started with us. So do us a favor, talk about why you're excited and hey, tell us how you did it too. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Thank you again. First of all, before I get started, I want to say, give all glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Couldn't do nothing without him. And then secondly, just get back to the FFL leadership, as well as I want to keen in on my team, the FFL Dream Team, my leadership, Mr. Andre Burke and Mr. Stephen Johnson couldn't be here without them. So what I'm most excited about is Integrity Marketing Group. To me, that's the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a way that I can see to change my family legacy, as well as my business partner's family legacy as well. So being able to be here for that ground opportunity, it's just unprecedented, and I'm super excited about that. So how I hit my goal for Barnes Producer for the month for March, simply I made no excuses. I'm full-time accounting, have 3 kids, and I'm also part-time in the military. So I'm super busy, but I did what they said to do. I ran the system. We like to say in Dream Team, we ran the play. I made my 20 to 30 appointments a week. And I made sure I had my leads to amount to my activity. I heard it was a Facebook post. I'm not sure who posted it at FFL, but to summarize it, this is what it told me. It said, say you're in the office on a Dow day, you're not making appointments. What should you do? You buy more leads. You're out in the field, run a day. You got a lot of no-shows. What should you do? You buy more leads. You're not meeting the issue pay you want for the week or the month. What do? You buy more leads. And the way I look at it is that next lead can lead to me, writing $2,000, $3,000, or $4,000 annual premium, or even $100,000, $150,000, or $250,000 annuity. So that's all my time. To the next time. Just want to say thank you, everybody. And I see you at the top because the bottom too small.
That's right. And I'm sure definitely going to be seeing more of you for sure, Eugene. All right. The second person we want to acknowledge is Amaka. Are you on?
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Absolutely. So congratulations. Looks like you did $18,084 in the month. That is amazing. Congratulations. So give us 2 minutes about why you're excited and how you did that.
Thank you. Thank you. First and foremost, like Jean said, I want to give it to God. I want to thank my leadership. And I want to say in FFL, everything is, they wrote the play for us. There are podcasts, there's YouTube. The first thing for anybody, I think you should find out why you want to do the business. And it should be so big that it'll shift your mindset. And with that mindset, You got to say to yourself, I listened to Julie the other day. She was like, before she's making the call, she's saying that they want me to come. She's mastering the phone. They want me to come. They need this insurance. And she's telling herself that. That's the mindset I have when I'm making the calls. Like Jean said, I'm busy. I'm a master sergeant in the United States Army. I have 6 boys at home, and there's just no excuse. There's no excuse. If they give me 45 minutes for lunch, I'm going in my car. I'm going to make some calls. I'm not full time, so it's on my time. It's no excuses. If my VP calls me and he says, "Why are you doing this?" I'm coachable. I change it because he knows better. Mr. Johnson knows better. If I get that phone call, hey, you're not running the play. You're not doing you have to be coachable. Make no excuses. And you got to get through your adversity. Life happens. Right now, I'm taking care of my family. I know when I come back from New York, I got work to do. And that's just what it is.
You ain't playing.
I'm not
You
playing.
are not playing. You are not playing. I love it. Oh, well, congratulations, Amaka. That's really incredible. You're doing a great job, especially, I know I'm a single mom. So it's hard. Your kids are pulling at you constantly. They need you. And finding that time to get things done is extremely hard. So I definitely, I'm so proud of you. It's awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes, keep going. We're gonna definitely be hearing more from you too. So that's exciting. Awesome. So just a quick announcement, everybody. I'm sure everyone is aware of FFL Agent Hub. It's like, I consider like my Bible here at FFL. Every time I use it every single day. I have about 20 times a day. There's so much useful information on FFL Agent Hub, like everything you need pretty much to run your business. But under there, when we're out on appointments, sometimes it's really hard to know where a client is going to fit in. So, you ask all the questions. And then if you go to FFL Agent Hub and then under underwriting guidelines, I believe there is a final expense cheat sheet that is very, very helpful. So it's going to first ask, how old are they? So you're going to find their age, and you're going to ask, what illnesses they have. Do they have a bank account? And the final expense cheat sheet is going to give you all the information that you need so that you know what carrier to write them with. I think that it had needed some updating. And so for those of you who've been around a while, it has been updated. So you can very efficiently use that as of now. So I just wanted to make that quick announcement. But again, FFL Agent Hub, start there. Any question you have, like how do I get in touch with my carrier? How do I, check my back office? Anything you need, who do I get in contact with FFL? It's all on there. FFL Agent Hub, must use, okay? All right, Mike Pfeil, are you here?
Hey, Brandy, I'm here.
All right, so guys, that's kind of gave it away. I gave it away, but Mike Pfeil is going to be our guest speaker for today. And of course, we are always honored to have you on the call. Your growth and your work ethic is incredible, and you inspire me on a daily basis. Like you just go so hard and you never give up, and it's freaking amazing. So we're honored to have you here, Mike. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you having me on. I missed the first couple minutes of the call, so I apologize. So if I repeat anything that anyone else has already said, I'm sorry about that. I want to congratulate those new people that you had on earlier, and I just caught the end of Amaka. And, there's a couple names that are really starting to stand out, Amaka being one of them. Eugene, I see his name coming up a lot. And then I see Pete Pendleton. And what's amazing to see is new people that are starting to come into the group and watching new people have success and start to take off. So that's very inspiring to watch, and I love to see it every day. And then definitely want to congratulate, I'm going to try to pull over here. I'm congratulate Andre Brooks. He's number 1 for week 2 at 20,000 month-to-date issue paid. That's averaging 10,000 a week issue pay. This is a 5-week month. So the potential right there is 40,000 plus a month. The more that you talk to Sean Mike, that if you want to build a big business, you have to sell at a high level. And what that means is producing no less than $30,000 a month, anything more than that obviously starts to make things easier. But it all comes down to selling at a high level, because if you want to build a big agency, a big business, it costs money. You have a lot of people that are coming on board, and a lot of people that come here come like I did. I didn't have any money for leads. I didn't have money for things that I needed to be able to get my business up and running. So if you are building an agency, it certainly does start costing money, and you have to have those resources to be able to pour back into your group to help. So congratulations, Andre. You're definitely doing it the right way. Producing at a high level is one of the four main things that Sean Mike goes over with us on a daily basis if we want to end up with an integrity partnership. So the couple things that Corinne had asked me to talk about today was attitude and activity. For those of you that were at we're at the conference that we just had, a lot of people that get up on stage, you hear many people talk about their attitude, their mindset. And really, at the end of the day, it probably is one of the most important things that we do, even before buying leads and anything else, because if you don't have the right mindset, if you're not thinking positively, it's so easy to get negative and get off track. And I don't remember if it was Dominique or Paul McLean that talked about, once you start thinking these negative thoughts, that all you end up doing throughout the day is looking for things to be able to justify that thinking, to justify that thought. And then all of a sudden, when someone says like, all of this stuff is terrible, or all these leads are terrible, the next thing you know, every lead that you dial, every person that you call, all of them are bad, all of them suck, things aren't working, and it starts going in this circular type thinking, and nothing seems to work out. So step one is definitely you must have a positive attitude. On a daily basis, when I'm driving around between appointments, I'm either listening to podcasts or I'm listening to books on Audible. I'm constantly trying to fill myself with positive thinking. I want to change the way that I think, because obviously all the thinking that I've done up until this point today in my life has kind of led me to where I am today. So the only way that I'm going to be able to get to the next level is kind of change the way that I think. And it's something that I have to do on a daily basis. I don't think being positive is natural. We're born into this world and we see so much negativity. And if you're raised like me, you come from a very broken home, a very my family had a very poor mindset, and it's the way that I was brought up. So it's something that I have to work on and change on a daily basis. So that's all I have to say about mindset. In terms of activity, you'll hear me a lot talk about, when I got here, I had to work 7 days a week. Now, I had to work 7 days a week because I didn't have any other choice. When you have family obligations, you have a wife that doesn't work, you have children, you have a daughter in college, you have a lot of responsibilities. At the end of the day, you do not have any choices at all. The only choice is to push forward and to do whatever it takes to be successful. And for me, that meant working 7 days a week, and is what I had to do to be able to get ahead. And it really doesn't come down to any more than that. I had a new agent that called me yesterday, and he was asking about buying leads and the number of appointments that he was booking. And I didn't have any magic to tell him, but I said, listen, you're just not buying enough leads. You're not dialing enough, and therefore you're not setting enough appointments. There never is anything that's magical, other than I think the thing that he probably wasn't doing is dialing leads 3 times back to back like we do. But by him calling me and telling me exactly how many dials he made, how many people answered the phone, how many appointments that he booked, I could very easily say, well, you're not making enough dials, and you're not making enough dials because you didn't purchase enough leads. And, it really just comes down to that. So everything that we do in this business comes down to activity. Activity will cover up all of your mistakes. It will cover up all of your flaws. You can make up whatever you lack in skill just by sheer activity. And whatever that means to you, if it is working 7 days a week, if it's being in the field 5 days a week, whatever that is to you until you start getting good, I think it's important that you do it. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to change your situation. You hear people say it all the time. And I remember Brandy telling me at the beginning, she was so mad. She was like, if one more person tells me to work hard, I'm going to like lose my mind. I'm going to punch someone in the face if one more person tells me to get to work. But the reason why so many people say it is because that really at the end of the day is all that it is. It's just putting forth a lot of effort. And over time, things will begin to get easier. But in the beginning, it is just a lot of effort to be able to get good. I can tell you from being a person that, 18 months ago was probably worse than probably most people on this call. I don't know everyone's situation, but in terms of financially speaking, was in a very bad situation. So I can speak to this and tell people that any financial situation that you're in, you can certainly outwork it and put enough money in your pocket to begin to correct it. And it all comes down to just simply having a great attitude and putting forth a lot of activity. In terms of hiring, if you look around, we're as a group, we're not hiring near as many people that we need to be hiring. We're not growing as fast as we need to grow. We don't have enough people that are being promoted within the group. And the only way to do that is to put forth massive amounts of hiring. There's like 8 of us right now that are in a kind of like a pool of hiring. We're purchasing leads from several different companies, and they go into a pool, and then those leads are round robin. That is a great thing to do once a person has gone through their warm market. And even after you've gone through your warm market and you begin to start hiring cold market, you should still always try to go out for warm market. And it should always be when you meet someone that you think could do well in the business, you should always try to introduce them. But once you've got to the point where you've built a foundation in your agency, and I believe that the entire foundation should be built with warm market, it is very important to start searching out and finding other ways to start bringing in people. And there's a group of us, a small group of us right now that are in a round robin campaign, and we are starting to, ramp up hiring cold market people, because it's important that we do that, or else our numbers are going to remain the same. The only way that we as an entire agency are going to grow is we need a lot of people to come on board and help us out. There's no way that the number of people that we have here are going to get us to, $2 million a month, $5 million a month. It is going to take a lot of people to do it. And the reason why that is the goal is because I know that if we're at $5 million a month, I know that we have a lot of people that have built something significant within this group. And if we stop today, if we stop growing, then all that does is going to hinder the other people that are on the team. The people that are in the group now, the people that have been here for the last year and have been growing this agency, the people that are coming on board today, we owe it to them to work harder than ever before, because they deserve the same opportunity that all of us have. They deserve us to teach them what we have learned over the last 12 to 18 months, and they deserve for us to begin to pour into them. I've heard people before say, I can't wait till I can get to a certain level and then bow out and do something different, or I can't wait to get an integrity deal and then I can go do something different in my life. You see, I think the bigger that we get as leaders within the group, it's our job to work even harder, because we owe it to all the new people that are coming on board right now for us to teach them everything that we know and help them build and help them achieve their dreams. So all the leaders in this group, I don't know if there's ever a time when we just bow out. We have to continue to push forward, continue to teach, and continue to train and help as many people and lift as many people up as possible. I think it's what we owe and what the new people that are coming on the board deserve from the rest of the group. So that's all I have to say about hiring. Does anyone have anything specific about hiring? Any questions that people have to ask?
Mike, if you're new to this business and you're just starting to get your money up, right? It's, what can people do besides, obvious warm market, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, like social media. I think that's pretty obvious for all of us, but what are some other ways that people can, recruit people that doesn't cost a whole lot of money or no money?
The best way to recruit is to sell at a high level. I mean, can you imagine if you get your production up to 40, 50, $60,000 a month, and you take a screenshot of your bank account and you're cash flowing 40, $50,000, doesn't cost you anything, and all you're doing is putting posts on social media showing people how your life is changing. The best way to build is to sell at a high level. It's crazy, but I used to look at Sean and I never understood why he would say certain things that he said. It got to the point now where whatever he says, I just listen to him. I don't question anything he says anymore. Whatever he says, I just do. I was one of those people that every time he said something, I always asked why. Why do you think this way? I stopped that a while ago, and whatever he says, I just do it. And what he taught me a long time ago was that if you want to build a big agency, you must sell at a high level. So, Brandy, to answer your question, if you want to start building, if you don't have a lot of money to put into recruiting, then you should be selling at a high level. That'll correct two problems. One, it's going to put money into your bank account, and two, it's going to help you recruit and hire people, because people want to be around other winners. If you're posting, your bank statement, you're posting deposits, and you're making a significant amount of money, a lot of people are going to want to be a part of your group. So if you want to build a big team, sell at a high level. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Does anyone else have any questions?
Everything comes down to either we need to sell more, we need to hire more people. When people say my team isn't growing, you need to go out and sell more insurance. The team isn't producing, I'm not hitting the number I want to hit, we'll go out and hire more people. It always comes down to those two things. Either you need to sell more or you need to hire more people. We need to be doing those things on a daily basis.
All right. Does anyone else have a question for Mike regarding hiring, recruiting?
Hey, I do. Hey, Mike.
Yes. Hey, Corinne, how are you?
Hey. So, I get a lot of new teammates that their schedule is just all over the place. So I know you have you're married, you have kids, you have obligations, and sometimes you have to fly out, fly back in, but you're still producing at a high level. How do you manage your schedule, and how important is having a schedule?
I mean, first of all, like when I came aboard here, I sat down and I talked to my wife and my kids, and I just said, I'm not going to be around a lot. I'm going to work nonstop, but I'm going to work very, very hard, because I'm going to change our entire family's lives. So if I'm not here, I'm not here. And I need you guys to understand this, that for like the next 2 years that I'm going to work, I don't expect me to be around a whole lot for things. And a lot of times, like, they'll go places or they'll be somewhere and I won't be here because I'm working. So step one is, let your family in on your goals, or what your goals are and what you're trying to achieve. That way, all of a sudden one day when you're not there for something, they don't turn around and not understand exactly what's going on. So first thing one is share your vision with your family, so they understand exactly what you're trying to achieve, and let them know that you're trying to do this for them. I think that's the first thing that needs to be done. If you're not able to sell your family, your wife, your children, the people that are around you on your dream, how do you expect to sell, complete strangers that you're trying to hire and bring into your business on your dream? So step one is sell your family on your dream, so they understand exactly where you're trying to go. Step two is you do need a schedule, and it needs to have somewhat of structure. My schedule is pretty much set in stone every week, but lately it's been getting a little bit crazy. Like Wednesday, I had to fly down to Florida for a meeting, then I flew back home Wednesday night, so I missed a day that I should have been in the field. So because I knew I was doing that, and I knew I had to move into the new office, I then changed it and said, okay, I'm going into the office on Friday, and I'm going to book up Saturday and Sunday. Where usually lately I've been taking off on Sunday at least 2 times a week, but this is a weekend because I had to fly out for a day, and I knew I had to move stuff into the new office, that I knew I had to go ahead and work Saturday and Sunday. But all those things are prearranged. I don't just say, all right, well, I got to fly out of town for something. It's just one less day in the field. No, I still put in my no less than 3 days in the field. I try for 4, and I just make sure that everything is scheduled in advance. So if you're part-time, just figure out what that schedule needs to be, and you need to stick to it on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. When I first got into the business, and I worked one place full time. I only had Saturday and Sunday to run business, but it was every single Saturday and Sunday. And people say, wow, that was 7 days. Yes, I had to work 7 days a week because I wanted to change my situation. When I got into this business, when I got back to FFL a year and a half ago, I knew that every Monday I was dialing. I was in the field on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I dialed Thursday, and I ran Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I stuck to that schedule each and every week. Now, even prior to setting the schedule, obviously, whatever your schedule is, you need enough leads to be able to run that schedule. Last year, I remember Frank had me on a call in February, and I did 40,000 like February last year, and it was all done with Facebook final expense leads. In order to do that, I think I was doing like a dial a day, run a day. I was running Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I was buying 50 to 75 Facebook leads every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because I knew that I needed enough leads so I could set my schedule. Back then, even just January, February last year, we didn't have these internet leads. I wish I would have had them because things would have been a lot easier and my ROI probably would have been higher. But at the end of the day, I knew that I needed enough leads to be able to give me enough dials on the days that I was dialing so I could keep my schedule. So first it comes down to lead flow and then set your schedule. And that's the only way to be able to do it. So whatever your schedule is, it's got to be set in stone, and you need to do that on a daily basis. Whether you come here and work full-time is great. If you do it part-time is great. Just make sure that you have a schedule that you adhere to. The problem is people come here and they want to work sometime, but they expect full-time results, and that always becomes an issue. So whatever your schedule is, put it in stone and make sure that you have enough leads to be able to back up that schedule and keep yourself busy on a weekly basis. So that's what I say about schedule for people.
I got a question for you, Mike.
Yes,
Can everyone hear me okay? All right, so you said you're using some cold market leads. What are your lead sources for those cold market recruiting?
I run Facebook campaigns. I have a company that I buy from, Agentic. I have a guy that I know, a consultant that we know that we purchased. He manages our LinkedIn accounts and he's generating leads off LinkedIn. And then we run ads on Career Builder. That's where we're getting all of our cold market. The whole purpose of hiring cold market is to get to those people's warm market. That's always been my philosophy on cold market recruiting. Yes, we want to hire all these cold market people, but immediately when you hire a cold market person, the first question to them should be, who else do you know? Who else can you bring on board? Who else is looking for an opportunity like you? I think that's the whole purpose of getting to a cold market, is just so you can bring in their warm market. It helps that cold market recruit stay in the business because they have now someone with them. So that's the whole purpose of us doing our cold market recruiting, is just because we want to get to their warm market. It's the best way to do it. I talked a little bit about on stage about going through these levels. I don't know if everyone does it, but I recommend everyone does do it. Have the promotional guidelines, printed somewhere, and you should certainly be setting goals on when you want to get to 100%, 105%, 110%, understanding what the promotional guidelines are and the activity that you need to be put forth to be able to hit those goals is extremely important. Also have the manager levels there so you know exactly what you need to do so you can achieve vice president. First hitting the first level on there is sales manager. I'm a very big fan of, and I've seen a couple people do it in our group, is to achieve sales managers should be you and one other person. You see, if you're producing 30, 40, 50,000 a month, you have the ability to hire someone else and show them how to do the same thing. And you and one other person can easily do 50,000, and now it's two people at sales manager. See, when it's you and one other person producing at a high level, it begins to get easier to hire other people, because when you're talking to people about the business, you're able to say, hey, you see these levels on here? Me and one other person, we were able to do it. I did 40,000. They did 20,000. I hit sales manager. I have the ability to show you how to do the same thing. then people want to start joining your business. And to get to that next level, to get to vice president, we just skip over senior sales manager. To get to vice president should be you and no more than 6 or 7 people. That means you have a bunch of people that are around you that are producing at a high level. And then to be able to get to that next level beyond that, to get to senior sales manager, now you have to show one of those people that are direct to you how to do the same thing. You want to teach and show them how to get to vice president. All right. So now if you show someone else how to get to VP, that's going to help you get to senior vice president, because that's 300,000 in production. And then to get to executive vice president, you're going to show someone how to get to senior vice president, teach someone how to get to VP, and then show someone how to get to sales manager. And it's just going to be this repetitive thing that you're going to keep doing over and over and over again, and continue to lift people within your group. And really, it just gets down to that. That's basically all it is. But it all starts out with this mundane, this monotonous, every single day buying leads, running, keeping a schedule, seeing a lot of people, and producing at a high level. It all starts there. And then once you start doing that, everything else begins to get easy. Anyone else have any questions on anything specific?
I got a question, Mike. You got any tips on helping people pass their tests? Because I'm getting people to go through the class, they're finishing the class, but they're failing the test. Any tips on how to help people pass their test?
Yeah, the easiest way to pass the test, first of all, when you have people go into class, they should only do life, don't do health. It's too much. All right, that's step one. Step two, when I tell people to take the class, I do this. I say take life, not health. And then step two, don't read anything. Don't spend any time reading any of that information. Immediately go in and take the quiz on chapter 1. And then have a notebook next to you, because when you get an answer wrong, they give you the correct answer. So then write down that answer. And then because you wrote it down, you're going to remember the answer that you got wrong. And then take the quiz again. And then every answer that you get wrong and they give you the correct answer on, write it down. And then once you start passing chapter 1 quiz at 95, 100%, now go on to chapter 2. Don't read any of the information. It doesn't matter. Obviously, what's important in those chapters is what's on the quiz. So why read that? There's a bunch of extra words in there just to fluff it up. We don't care. All we need to know is the important information that is in those chapters. We don't need to know all that other information. So life only, don't read anything, take the quizzes, have a notebook next to you, and every answer that you get wrong, write down the correct answer on your note on the notebook, and go through it over and over and over again. Just take the quizzes over and over and over again. I don't read any of that stuff. It's not important. All it is, most of it's just like common sense trying to keep us out of jail. We all know right from wrong, so we're not going to break any laws. So that's that's a tip that I always give people, and I think that's the easiest way to pass a class. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Do it that way, and we should have more success. If you have anyone right now that signed up for life and health, have them go back, and they can call the company and just tell them to remove the health side of it and just do that, the life.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything specific that they have questions on?
I do, Mike.
How are you?
How are you, Mike? So
Fantastic.
I am on standstill. I've been on for quite a couple months already. But I could only do certain amount of business so far because I've been having tremendous issues with contracting. For some reason, I don't know if it's me myself that I just can't seem to get to the right places for contracting with all my carriers that I need. I have a bunch of warm markets that I need to get in the system, but the portals that I'm having, it's not bringing down the contracts that I need to get signed on with. I'm only signed on with 4 carriers. And most of my warm markets don't fit into those carriers. Basically, like, what can I do to move on the process with my contracts? Like, where else can I go to move the process with contracts?
Yeah, contract is so simple now because you just log into your HCMS account and request your contracts.
Okay, so
Like, it's
just
really,
go
really,
there. Go ahead.
yeah, it's super easy now with HCMS. Everyone on this call should have an HCMS account. You know, a lot has changed within contracting to where now it's getting much easier. And I think once a couple of these bugs get worked out with HCMS, it's going to be super simple. So the first step is go to fflgetcontracted.com, and then all that does is either Lauren or Kai. Kai does a lot of it for FFL Fury. They just simply invite people, the new agents, to go into HCMS, and HCMS now handles everything for contracting. So it's really easy now.
Yeah, I tried to get into that and it said expired. So I had contacted Kim to see if she could send me the new link for that.
What link for what?
For HCMS.
Go into fflgetcontracted.com and then go down to submit a ticket and just put in there a general inquiry and put, please re-invite me to HCMS.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
I have another question, Mike.
Yes.
So what would you say is the difference between someone who has never sold insurance before and they get out there and start writing business and learn the business pretty quickly versus somebody who's just probably struggling? What do you see the biggest mistakes people make? And what do you see the differences between those two types of people that just get out there and those who just are not just having success at all?
I think most people think that they need to know everything, when at the end you don't need to know anything to be able to do the business. I think the more that you know, the worse it is. Like when I talk to someone and they have this high level degree, I just shake my head and I go, we're going to have problems, because they're someone who those kind of people, they tend to overthink everything. That was my biggest issue in this business, is because I went to college for a programmer, so I have a very analytical mind, and my problem is I overthink everything, and that was my biggest issue, rather than just getting out there and doing it. So the people that aren't having success, they just think too much, and they think they need to know everything. And then there's people that just, like Ryan Urbanski. Everyone saw Ryan when he got here. That guy, he didn't think about anything. He just did whatever I told him to do. I told him to call a carrier one time, and I was just being funny and said, call Dean and tell them that you're killing it at a high level and you need an Athene contract because you're ready to crush it. I was just being funny when I said it. He literally called Athene and said every word that I said. And I was like, dude, I was just joking. They don't care that you're killing at a high level. They don't even know you. But it's one of those things that a lot of people, and I'm in that category, like I overthought everything. And the people that just get out there and do it are the people that have a lot more success. When you just don't think and you just trust the people that are doing it, you're going to be more successful than someone who's out there and overthinking things. And I think that's the biggest difference for the people that come in and have success right away versus the people that aren't having success. And it really just comes down to that. And sometimes when I talk to people, I know that people are looking for like this high level, this magic. And I used to be, it's so funny because I've literally been through everything. There isn't any situation, there isn't any problem that anyone on this call can call me and say, and I haven't been through it, because I've been through it all. And I used to go into Frank's office. I remember sitting down and go, man, can I just sell, not issue, not deposit? Can I just please sell $2,500 a week? Is that possible? Why can't I do this? So I've like literally been through everything. When people call me and say, Mike, I think Will called me last week and said, Mike, I've sat 17 homes and didn't make a sale. Like, I've been there before. I wasn't able to, sell 17 homes straight. I've had, 2 days of no shows. I've like been through all of it. So any problems that people are having, like, I know I've been through it, and a lot of us on this call have been through it. So understanding that we've all been there, and if you just once you realize that when we tell someone to do something, it's because we want to help them avoid all the pitfalls and all the pain that we went through. Once people trust in you and trust in that, I think it begins to make things easier, and people can do things a lot quicker than what it took you to do. So If people do that, then it makes it easier. But that is the one biggest thing. I think new people will come in here and they overthink everything, when in reality, what we do is very, very simple. You just got to get out there and do it.
Mike, it's Kali. How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Kali.
So, how important is learning the phone script, getting on the dials and getting to an office as you possibly can? Can you just talk about how important that piece of the business is?
Yeah, first of all, phones are everything that we do. It's 80% of this business, and nothing else is important, because obviously at the end of the day, if you're on the phone and setting a bunch of appointments, if you're able to book 10 to 12 appointments in a day, if you don't know any products, if you're an introvert and don't know how to talk to people, if you're able to sit down or book 10 to 12 appointments, half of them will be there. And even if you're terrible, and let's say you sell less than 50%, so if you have 12 and you sit with 6 and you're terrible and sell 2, and let's say it's $2,000, if you do that, 4 days a week, that's $8,000. That's $8,000. That's a great week. So it all comes down to being on the phones. If you're near an office, and when I talk about near an office, I'm talking about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You should get to that office a minimum of 1 time a week. Plus, the meeting that I had to go down to Florida for on Wednesday talked about work spots. This work spots is a very big deal in this company because it came from Integrity. And what Integrity has found out is that people that buy leads do very well in the business. People that don't buy a lot of leads don't last, don't survive, and don't stick around in the business. What they figured out is people that are buying leads on a weekly basis are having success on a weekly basis. It sounds simple, right? But that's what they came up with. So the first thing with this work spots deal is you pay $100 a month, and then you're able to assign yourself to an office that allows you to go to any office for the $99. But then that work spots app, they're giving people 20 to 50% discounts a couple times a month. So basically the discounts that you're getting on leads is able to pay for the work spots. So by utilizing this work spots app, it will let you get to an office. And getting to an office and being around people is probably one of the most important things that you can do. First thing I did when I came back to FFL a year and a half ago was I got an office and I got an admin. I knew that even I can't work from home. I'm very easily distracted, or my wife will come and ask me to do things around the house, ask me to go out and get the mail, ask me to vacuum, ask me to do all kinds of stuff, and I'll do everything but work. So I knew that if I wanted to have success, the first thing I had to do was I had to get an office. So if there isn't an office, if we're not close to you, download the WorkSpots app, find an office that's close to you, pay the $100 a month, and then plug into that office. And on your schedule, you should be in that office on a weekly basis. If you're within a couple hours of the Bel Air office, you need to put it on your schedule to be able to get to your office. If you're near the Beltsville location, get to the Beltsville location on a weekly basis. When you're around people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, it definitely helps you become more focused. In my office, we would all dial in there, and I would start to hear new people start repeating and saying the same exact thing that I would say. Or someone in the office would say something that resonated with everyone else, and they would pick that up and start saying it. So in terms of phone script, I'm much like Dom. I don't really have much of a phone script. I just have more of an attitude. And, when I'm dialing on the phone, I do not, when people call me and ask me about phone script, I never have anything special to say. It's just the attitude that I use when I call people. But that comes down with being around a bunch of people, being around people that are in the office. I think it's an extremely important part of this business. And if you're not there, your first goal should be to open an office, so then you could start having people on your team come into the office, and then you guys can dial together. So being on the phones, definitely the most important part of our job. Being around people that are doing exactly what we're doing, an extremely important part of this business. It's the only way that you're going to learn, the only way that you're going to grow. And because if you're not good on the phone, you're not going to be able to teach yourself to be good on the phone. So get into an office and get around people that are doing or having the kind of success that you want to have. Does that answer your question, Kali?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Hey, Mike, I have a question.
Yes, how are you?
Hey, good. It's Ashley. So so this is going to be my first week, and I was looking at the CRM, and I feel really overwhelmed with like all of the options as far as leads and how many things to buy. What do you suggest my first week going into this? What kind of leads do I buy? How many do I buy? I really want to like get off to a good start here.
I'll tell you what I would do, but then you should always follow up with the person that hired you. I'm a big fan of the 1 month and the 3 month old leads. The instant internets and the new internet, you know, those people, they'll go on the internet and they'll apply, and then no one contacts them immediately. So then they'll, you know, start applying for other insurances on the internet. They'll get bombarded with calls, but the 1 month old leads and the 3 month old leads, their phones have kind of died down. They're not going as crazy, and it's a little bit easier to start getting those people on the phone. Plus, those leads are cheaper, so you can buy more of them. You know, as a new person, you just need a lot of leads. You need a lot of activity. So I'm a bigger fan of the older leads. And I'm not saying for a long period of time. I'm saying for maybe like the first couple of days, just kind of get used to being on the phone. Any new person that's in the business should always start out with final expense and internet leads. And I think you just need a lot of them. I think too many people get started and they want to immediately jump in mortgage protection. And I think first you've got to get good at doing final expense and just doing straight life insurance. It's a much easier sale. And it's just a way to kind of learn the grind of this business, because selling final expense and selling just straight life insurance, it is just a straight grind. There isn't any skill at all involved with either one of those types of skills, because it's just, you know, if it's final expense, people fill this form out for 1 of 3 reasons. And then if it's life insurance, it's almost the same thing. Hey, people usually fill this out for 1 of 3 reasons. Which one is you? There is no skill involved with that. It's just walking into a lot of homes and saying the same thing. And once you get good at doing that, then you start introducing mortgage protection. But definitely in the beginning, buying the older leads. I think the 1 month and the 3 month old leads are better than probably even the Facebook stuff. You know, Facebook kind of costs, you know, 2 or 3 times as much. Why not just buy a bunch of cheaper leads? And it's not for a long period of time. Do it for a week. You know, just have some success before you start dumping a whole bunch of money in leads.
Okay, so how
Hey,
many?
Mike,
Oh, sorry.
No, finish your question.
Okay, so how many leads would you say of 1 and 3 month leads? What would you buy for Monday to get a full schedule for Tuesday and Wednesday? How many would you buy?
I'd buy 150 to 200
of each.
No, total. You know, having
Total.
200
Okay.
leads, yeah, having 200 leads in front of you will definitely allow you to book up 2 days.
Okay, cool, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mike. I have a question.
Yes.
Hey, Mike. This is Douglas Chappelle. I just passed my exam last week, my life accident health exam. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the training, the fast track training you provided with us. I've been watching it nonstop. I can't wait to go home and I'll watch it some more. 'Cause I learned new things I didn't know before, like the integrity deal and things later on down the line. Nothing to worry about now, but I appreciate it. But I just had one question about the life accident health exam.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on getting it, but everything happened for a reason. Since I have it, what's the difference between, you know, the regular life insurance exam and the life accident health, and how will you be able to utilize it as a producer just coming in? Not just coming in, but down the line, because I know my primary focus is final expense and mortgage protection.
Yeah, the only thing that the health exam allows you to write is it will allow you to do accidental insurance through Mutual of Omaha, and then you can write some other stuff that we don't write. You know, long-term care and disability. We don't write any of that stuff. The only thing I've ever used my health license for was to write accidental through Move, and I haven't done one of those in like a year. So it really isn't. You don't need it for anything. We don't write health insurance.
Okay, I appreciate it. So I just did some extra questions for nothing, so, you know, but
No,
I appreciate it.
It's a good question. You know, being new into this business, and we talk about it all the time, the only thing you need to focus on is so many people want to focus on all these IULs and all these other products, and people always pull out all these weird products that we don't write. You know, if you look at what I sell, I basically sell like 3 companies. I only sell Americo, Mutual of Omaha. I used to sell a lot of Royal Neighbors, but now we need to move over to Aetna because Royal Neighbors isn't bonusable. I don't sell like all these crazy products. I write very, very few IULs. The quickest way to confuse a new person is when they call and need help and you tell them to write like an IULE. I promise you, most of the people that are writing IULs don't completely understand them. And that's bad because once you start writing all these other products, it really takes you away from what's simple. And what's simple is just writing whole life and then writing term. I'll write IULs, and believe me, I understand them. I know how to do tax-free retirement. I know how to underfund an IUL and make it act like a term policy, and sometimes that could be necessary. I can do all kinds of different things with ULs, but I don't do it because it takes away from what's easy and how we make our money. The reason this company is so successful is because the system that's in place is very duplicatable. Once you start doing all these other things, messing around with this global Atlantic stuff, once you start writing these IULEs, once you start introducing all those other types of things to your team, you will start hindering their performance because it does get more confusing. There is nothing worse than you see someone write a TLA. You know, when I saw someone in another group, they wrote TLA 30,000 annual premium. First thing I said was that's never going to be approved and never going to go through. You know, the fully underwritten side of this business is very complex. Things get messed up. Policies don't go through. Clients begin to hate you because you will quote them at one risk class, and they end up coming back as another risk class. And you see, if you don't understand what I'm talking about in terms of risk class, you should never be writing any type of fully underwritten business. You know, fully underwritten business is all about like calling the carrier, giving all their health conditions, getting the person rated. You know, all the business that we write in the simplified issue world is a table rating of a 4. And if you don't even know what that word means, then you should never be writing any fully underwritten business. It's a problem. And I've written a lot of it, but it's a problem. I never really count it in my numbers because it begins to be a problem. Those things don't get approved. I submitted a Global Atlantic like a month ago, and the woman never did her medical exam. She had a very unique situation. That's all she could do, but she never did her exam. You see, I didn't count that, and I wasn't expecting to get paid on it. Anytime I write a fully underwritten policy, I never expect to be paid on it. If it goes through, great. If it doesn't, I don't care because I'm not expecting that in my pay. I assure you that if you're new to the business and you want to build a big team, focus on Americo. Get very, very good at Eagle and get very good at HMS. Know it like the back of your hand and be very good at it. Understand the applications and know what they'll take. And understand Mutual of Omaha, Living Promise, and Term Life Express. Get to be great at those. When you start producing 30, 40,000 a month, once you're producing at a high level, start introducing some of the other products. Start introducing IULEs through Mutual, and Mutual has some other products that I don't even know, but become a high level producer before you start doing those. I don't even mess around with Americo's continuation product. They have a couple other, I don't even know what they are. I just write Eagle and I write HMS. And then obviously we all know AIG because it's a guaranteed issue product, and then get very good at writing Aetna and Prosperity. There you go. That's like 4 carriers, 5 carriers. You don't need to know all these other carriers. If you're trying to build a business though, Americo is the only way that you're going to, Americo is a cash flowing machine. When I see people write, especially new people, and they start writing Mutual of Omaha, I know that they're going to run into some cash flow issues. Mutual, even when things are good, will take 3 or 4 or 5 days to get paid. That one extra day of pay can mess up your entire week. There's so many times where you could write a piece of business, you're expecting a paycheck. Mutual of Omaha will ask for something stupid like a driver's license, social security card, and then the next thing you know, a day has lapsed And then because that day happened, now chargeback hits and now you didn't get paid. Where America, man, it's like every single day you get in, you get the approval, 2 days later you're paid, 2 days later you're paid. You're just constantly getting paid. And if you're trying to build an agency, it's all about how high you can keep this cash flow. People that say crazy things like, I'm just trying to do the best thing for the client. I get it. We're all here to do the best thing for the client. But if you're not getting paid and you're out of business, then you're no longer helping any clients. So at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for the client and what's best for you. We've got to, I sell Eagle on everything. The only time I don't is if I have a person that's super, super healthy and I know that they're out there shopping me. I don't look at 4 different carriers. I'm not trying to find out, who's best by $2. The most important thing is when I walk out of that home, that client is covered. And then 2 days later, I'm getting paid. And then I have more money to continue to reinvest in this business. If you're writing anything else than Americo, 70% of the time, I know that there's going to be a cash flow issue for a new person. Look at this stupid stuff right now going on with Mutual of Omaha. They're taking like 2 weeks to pay people. Most businesses will go out of business if they're not getting paid on a weekly basis. And the only way to do that is by selling Americo and selling it at a high level. I'm completely sold out to that company because I know that when I get that approval, I'm going to be paid. I don't know if it's happened to many of you guys, but I've been in a home and got a Mutual of Omaha approval, and then 2 days later, then a denial. I've sold a Mutual of Omaha, and the next thing you know, 2 days later, they tell me that I need a driver's license, social security card. It's like all these extra hoops that I have to jump through. It's ridiculous. I don't need to jump through all those hoops. I need to get in. I need to get people covered. I need to buy more leads, and I need to go and see more clients and then help more people out and get more money dumped into my account. This business is very cash flow intensive, and the only way that you're going to have a high level of success in this business is by putting a high level of cash into your bank account. And you have to do that with Americo. So learn 4 or 5 carriers. Don't write all those other carriers. When you change your mindset and you start realizing you can keep all your chargebacks under control, which I never have a chargeback issue because I only write a couple carriers, it begins to make things easier. I see too many agents that are bouncing around from carrier to carrier because they have chargebacks in America, so they want to write with Moo, and then Moo's back up. So then they go to Prosperity, and next thing you know, they got debt scattered all over the place, and it gets very, very difficult to be able to keep that debt under control. Keep it in control by only writing with a couple carriers and stay with our core carriers, especially if you have a goal in mind of being a vice president. To be able to start reaping the rewards of VP bonuses, it's only done with our bonusable carriers. And, we have a list with all those bonusable carriers, and that's how you're going to get extra money and get paid. So keep in mind of how we do get paid. Obviously you're keeping in mind of the commission chart, but then understand we do have the agent bonuses, the VP bonuses, and then obviously your overrides once you start building a team. So I know we're out of time. It's 12 o'clock. Does anyone else have any other specific questions?
Mike,
I just want to say thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, man. And cause you break down stuff so good. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime. Anytime I can share. I've been through the absolute landmines of this business, and I just like to let people know all the mistakes that I made, and sometimes you teach people those mistakes and they want to go through them anyway. Last thing I want to do is I want to talk about leads as a new person. I'll do is real quick. I'm always a big fan when people are brand new. Definitely start out with the 1 month, 3 month leads and buy a ton of them, and then start gradually working in Facebook final expense. I'm a big fan of game time leads. And from there, the next step is you want to get on some type of direct mail buy per lead program. You can get final expense direct mail leads for like $32 a piece, a minimum of 10 leads or the order. But I think once you really start rolling in this business, you need some sort of foundation. That foundation should be with final expense direct mail leads. But once you start committing to that, that money comes out of your account on a weekly basis, whether you have it or not. And if you don't have it, it rolls up to your upline. So a lot of times that can be dangerous. But if you plan on having any longevity in this business, you need to have direct mail as a foundation, and then everything else starts getting it added in on top of it. So phase 1, buying out of the CRM, 1 month, 3 months. Phase 2, start rolling in and start adding in Facebook final expense. Phase 3, start adding in some type of direct mail program, always final expense first. And then once you get good at that and you're producing at a high level, 30,000 a month, then start working in mortgage protection. That's a way that I always recommend people do it. If you want to build a large agency, do it all with final expense, do it all with just simple life insurance, and that's how you build a big agency.
Awesome, Mike. I just want to thank you so much. And we really do appreciate you as a team giving us, I mean, literally everything that we need to know to become successful here at Family First Life. Guys, this is the time. Thank you. This is the time, guys. I know people are out in the field, so we're going to respect your time. Guys, go kill it today. Go run it up. You have all the information you need to go kill it this week and every week thereafter. We love you guys. Have a great day.
All right, everyone. Let's kill it this weekend.